Welcome back to the weekend preview. So, Alexa, we're hanging out over at the fairgrounds. We're going to stay there for an all-graded stakes pick 4, races 11 through 14. But before we do, there's a couple different ads that are flashing on the bottom of the screen. We wanted to mention those and explain them a little bit more to you. First, you'll see the free picks, data, and analysis. Alexa, these are the formulator PPs, the all access past performances. So what's nice is whatever format you want, if you're a viewer, you can get those when you use that QR code. So you got to scan that QR code, right?
Yep, you just scan it. It'll take you right to checkout and just check out and get your free PPs. You get formulator and timeform. So timeform are the ones that we're showing you every race with the pretty pace projectors that give you an idea of how the race is going to play out. And then we also have the President's Day sale this weekend.
We're so excited about it. I'm stepping over you as we're talking about the President's Day sale. Do you know the coupon code that everybody needs to use to save that 15%?
Yeah, you just go to our shop.drf.com, and it's pretty much every product is 15% off. And I forget the coupon code. What is it?
PRES25. That's why I'm here. We just go back and forth. We help each other out. That's what a good team is all about. A good team is also going to hit the pick 4 on Saturday at the fairgrounds. Let's head on out there, Alexa, for the Grade 3 Mineshaft. That's going to be race number 11. This kicks off our late pick 4 sequence. This is a race where you have older horses. And I think the horse to beat, the one that they'll all that remember the name of, is Catching Freedom. Catching Freedom won the Louisiana Derby last year. Catching Freedom was 4th in the Kentucky Derby, was 3rd in the Preakness. He was one of the better 3-year-olds. So this will be the first start of his 4-year-old season. You have him on top. I mean, he's the class of the field. We know he likes the fairgrounds. It seems like he's the one they all have to hold off.
Yeah, absolutely is. You know, he's, like you said, no stranger to this high-level competition. Been off since June, but trainer Brad Cox wins 38% of the time when bringing horses back after more than 6 months off. So, you know, there's a lot of upside here. I do think he'll be the favorite. I'm hoping he'll stay kind of a tepid favorite. You see the morning line is 3-1. I mean, that would be awesome if he stayed there. Even 2-1, I think, would be a good spot for him odds-wise.
I really like one horse in this particular race, the number 4, Hall of Fame. He was very highly regarded last year as a 3-year-old. The problem was every time when he stepped up and faced the better horses, he just kind of folded. So he's been the type of horse who has looked awesome when everything goes well for him. But when he's kind of been punched, he hasn't really been able to punch back yet. Now he's older. He's 2 for 2 this year at 4. I think he has a chance to be like a really good top of the division older horse. It starts right here, though. He has to have a big win, and it could be in a spot like this when he is facing a horse like Catching Freedom coming off of a layoff. So Catching Freedom has not raced for a while. Maybe Hall of Fame can have that fitness advantage over him, and he's a little bit faster early in the race, so he can kind of get the jump on a horse like Catching Freedom. So we're going to use 2 horses to try to kick off the pick 4. We need either the 4 or the 5 to get the job done. And then, Alexa, we'll move to a really tricky 12th race. It's the fairgrounds. It's a 1.125 mile race on the turf course, and we felt like we needed to use a good amount in here just to get through. Why don't you start us off? You're going to talk a little bit about the inside couple, right?
Yeah, the number 1, What Say Thee, we're using at 4.5 to 1 morning line odds. Won last out in a lifetime best performance, although that was back in November. So coming off a bit of a decent layoff to start his 7-year-old campaign. So this is the first time they're trying him in a graded stakes in his entire life, but he fits. I think he really peaked last year in his 6-year-old career. He has that closing speed, and I think will likely be near the back of the pack early on. You can see Time from Yes does give him that LP white flag, which is the best late pace in the race. We'll also use the 2 Gigante at 3.5 to 1, who won his last 2 races in a row, both stakes races at fairgrounds in December and January. One was on the turf, one was on the dirt because it was raining that day, and so they took it off of the turf. But turf definitely is his preferred surface. He's the only one in here who ran in this race last year where he got 4th place. So like What Say Thee, he's also a closer, but does tend to stay closer to the pace than What Say Thee does. So I definitely think he seems to be at the top of his game, has a good shot in here. Another horse to the outside that we'll use is Taking Candy, appropriate name for Valentine's Day.
Right? Yes.
Trainer Cherie Duveau, who has a very successful meet so far at fairgrounds. She's had 50 starters. Half of them have hit the board. And Taking Candy's coming off a 3-month layoff as well, but his last time out in November, he ran a length behind What Say Thee. Had a decent trip, so there wasn't like a huge excuse for why he lost. He just was just outkicked. But as you can see, Temperamius does predict it's gonna be the other way around this time. Still a 1-2 finish, but this time with Taking Candy winning.
We had a bag of those Nerds gummy clusters that were supposed to be for Milo, my son's school, and I actually took the bag, so I know exactly what we're
I
talking.
told you
No,
the Nerds have
yep.
gotten me this year. I hadn't had them in like 10 years, and I've just been eating Nerds.
Sorry, Candy, you were taken. We'll also use the 3 unit economics. This horse had to launch really wide, had to come from the back, had to go very wide, and lost to a horse who got a perfect trip. I really like the 3 unit economics. The 4, I'd rather be blessed, is a horse who should be flashing really good speed, so could be part of the early pace and could hang on for a share there. So we're going to spread out. We felt like we needed to use the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 8 in race number 12. We move to the 13th. Alexa, these are the fillies looking for Kentucky Oaks points, and we have a couple good fillies in here, in particular the number 2, Good Cheer, who you can set us up for.
Yeah, Good Cheer. So you see this saddlecloth behind me for Monmoy Girl, one of my all-time favorite horses. She ran 17 times, won 14 of them. The other 3, she got second. She won the Breeders' Cup Distaff and the World Championships twice. She won the Kentucky Oaks. But before all of that, at the very start of her career, she had an identical lineup, same trainer, identical career path for her first 4 races coming into this race. And Good Cheer is doing better than she did because Good Cheer is undefeated, where one of those second place finishes for Monmoy Girl was in that. So, I mean, she's great. I can't wait to watch her race.
Good Cheer is the undefeated one to beat. You have Simply Joking, the number 6, who's kind of like the now horse, who's logical, who's won both of her starts. She fits. And then I'm going to throw in a big price, Alexa, of the number 4, Gowell's Delight, because she just had a really troubled trip at Oaklawn Park last time out. She never had a shot there. So we'll go 2, 4, and 6, and we can pull up the pick 4 ticket now, Alexa, because we already talked about race number 14. So here's what it looks like. Altogether, it's a $60 investment if we use 2 horses in the 11th. So 2 times 5. Make sure you multiply the amount of horses you're going to use in each race. This is our parlay. So we basically got a 4-team parlay for our all graded stakes pick 4. There's the ticket. Hopefully we can lead you in the right direction. When we return from this quick break, we're going to talk about Sunland Park and Kentucky Derby points in the Sunland Derby on Sunday.